Queen's Wharf is unlike anything we've seen in Australia. It's a precinct that's integrated with an exciting amount of amenity. You've got over 40,000 square metres of retail, a sky deck, casino, easy access to the heart of the performing arts precinct is in Brisbane, South Bank, and all on the doorsteps of Brisbane's Botanic Gardens. Queen's Wharf Residences was our fastest selling project in Brisbane's history. Now with the exciting story of Brisbane's 2032 Olympics on the way, we think Queen's Wharf Tower will be just as anticipated.
Queen's Wharf Tower in the Mansions precinct is the tallest of the entire development. In a way, it sort of anchors the northeast corner of the master plan and becomes a sort of a gateway to Queen's Wharf itself. There is no other site like this in Brisbane. It is part of the overall Queen's Wharf master plan, but then it has a lot of heritage context of its own.
It's the largest cluster of heritage buildings being upgraded and open to the public in Australia.
We're not trying to compete with the heritage building. We're contributing to the streetscape. We're creating a modern piece of architecture, but does that in a very respectful, very sensitive sort of manner. Most towers come down and sit on a podium, but here we've turned it around. We've lifted the tower off the street level and sat it on columns. It opens up these view lines and these sight lines to all the heritage buildings around for passers-by on street level, which is fantastic.
We've got great views to the northeast, right over the Botanic Gardens, the CBD itself, the Brisbane River as it wraps around out to Moreton Bay, as well as other unique view lines and aspects that will look right over the iconic Queen's Wharf sky deck towards Mount Cootha and South Bank.
It's quite deliberately sculpted and oriented for things like that to happen.
We've taken a lot of feedback on board in terms of apartment size, the way people work from home, and the quality of amenities that residents now desire.
There's a heritage listed building on our site called the Mansions. It's a fantastic example of residential architecture, and we saw some amazing details in that building. We thought it would be fantastic to bring some of those into our project and reinterpret them.
Using the architectural arches, redefining that subtly through the interior. So with arched shapes in the kitchen joinery, the floating shelves to the shapes of the mirrors. We've used modern and streamlined tapware, but in a bronze finish to give you that reference back to the mansions and that heritage narrative.
The apartments themselves have been designed in a way to cater for people who may like to work from home, use spaces in their apartment flexibly. We've got studies, we've got multi-purpose rooms, and we've even got large executive apartments for those that want that discerning home in the sky.
When you're in our apartments, it actually feels like you're maybe in a modern Queenslander, but what you get is actually the amenity of the city. You get all of the excitement of being adjacent to the Queen's Wharf precinct, and you get the biggest backyard you've ever seen in the Botanical Gardens right on your doorstep.
Queen's Wharf Tower is going to provide a lifestyle like no other. It's probably a generational type of development that really can compare to some of the most landmark developments and locations across the globe.
It's an exciting time for Brisbane. Imagine living in a complex with 50 bars and restaurants, 12 football fields of public realm, a bikeway, access to the river. It'd be a wonderful place to live.